Hello everybody, I'm Chris, I'm from Blackout Ballistics, and this is episode 3 of a series that we created to demonstrate the flash performance of different suppressors under the IR spectrum. Something I've noticed is that a lot of the other YouTube channels that demonstrate flash suppression contain various inadequacies within their test environment, such as not enough variations in barrel length, not enough variations in ammo types, or not even letting the suppressor cool down evenly between tests. However, there is a quick disclosure we would like to mention about this series you should be made aware about in this video. First, let's talk about my test environment. I'll be using 3 of the most common barrel lengths for 5.56 shooters, the first being an 11.5, the second being a 14.5, and the third being a 16-inch. For ammo, I'll be using 2 commonly found ammo types, the first being Winchester White Box M193, and the second being Wolf 55 grain 223. It's important to note that both of these ammo types do not contain any flash suppressant additives. However, with other various powders found in alternative ammo, they may burn cleaner and directly affect flash suppression. For our Surefire RC3, we'll be using a Surefire 4-prong flash hider. Included in our demonstration series, we ensure the suppressor cools down for 10 minutes before moving it to a different ammo type or a different platform. This is crucial for replicating first round pop. Listed on screen are the weather statistics pulled from that night from my local NOAA atmospheric weather station. In episode 4, we implement a Kestrel for more accurate weather readings. Next listed on screen is how we have the camera set up. 5 yards to the left of the shooter is a Sony a7S II filming in 4K at 30 frames per second. Paired with the setup is an Anvis green phosphor PVS-14. The shooter is wearing a Grekex night vision recorder filming in 1080p at 60 frames per second, paired with an Elbit PH white phosphor tube. Lastly, there's an iPhone filming in 4K at 60 frames per second placed 40 yards away from the shooter and 10 yards away from the target. This camera is the perspective of what it would look like to be shot at. This is paired with an L3 white phosphor tube. It's important to note we used a Rix R&V14 for the recording at first, and it constantly shut off as we shot towards it. And later we decided to substitute it with an L3 tube. This makes the footage inconsistent, which you will notice for the first 3 episodes. As a fair disclosure, the Sony a7S II filming in 30 frames per second does not exactly capture each and every flash. However, as we progress with this series, so will our equipment and procedures, and we will disclose what changes are made to you prior to the test in an effort to make constant improvements towards our test case. Let's see how the Surefire RC3 performs. All right guys, first off on the firing order, we have an 11.5-inch upper. We're going to be pairing that with the RC3 Mini. We're going from brass to steel case. All right guys, that was 11.5-inch upper. Now we're going to hop over to the 14.5. Now we're using the same suppressor, which is the RC3, but we're letting it cool down for 10 minutes. Then we're going to go from brass to steel case. All right, guys, that was the 14.5 inch upper. Now we're gonna hop over to the 16.5 inch right after a 10-minute cooldown for the RC3. Again, we're going from brass to steel case. Now, before we end the video, there's one important thing you should know. You should know that I'm an unsponsored YouTube channel, meaning everything you saw in today's video was all self-funded and nothing was sent to me for free by a company. What that means for you as the viewer and the end user is that you get clean and unbiased information. So if you like this style of content or you like night vision in general, especially what we're doing with this series, please consider commenting, liking, subscribing. It helps the channel a ton. Again, guys, I'm Chris from Blackout Ballistics, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.